Okay, I'm going to talk about the opacities of the paints at the moment, and then I need to go and do some research about their densities, the densities of the pigments. So what I'll do is I'll tell you what the paint is, and then I'm going to group them on this little tray. So this one is Deco Art 24 Carat Extreme Sheen, and that is unknown, but it will probably be opaque. Almost all golds are opaque, so I'm going to guess that this is opaque. I'll put opaque here, translucent here, transparent here. This is another metallic. This is called green metallic. It's from Sostrina Grena, and I'm guessing that that will also be opaque, so I'm going to put it on here. This is mixed with some acrylic gouache reflex yellow, which is a neon yellow. You can see some on the stick coming through there, and that is from Amsterdam, and in that there is also some Phoenix yellow orange, the colour is called. I assume that both of those are opaque. Acrylic gouache is always opaque as far as I know, unless it's an interference like an opalescent with a clear base, so I'm going to put that in the opaque row. This one is Liquitex Basics cadmium yellow, light yellow hue, and I think it's transparent, but I'm just going to double check. Okay, so this is the tube. This is semi-transparent, so that goes in the middle. This is Liquitex Basics Dioxazine Purple. It is opaque. It's an opaque paint. This is the Dioxazine Purple. This one is Prism Violet, which is a transparent colour. This is Phthalo Blue. It's from Sostrina Grena, and in my experience of using it, it can dry to a transparent finish, even though it's quite dark, so I'm going to leave it in the transparent row. This is Quinacridone Magenta from Liquitex Basics. I've got some paint on this, but you can see it's semi-transparent, so I will put that in the middle. This green is Phthalocyanine Green from Liquitex Basics, which I have here, and it is semi-transparent, so that belongs in the middle. This paint is a Colour Shift paint, the brand Colour Shift, and it is Aqua Flash. I do not know if it is transparent or not. Okay, now what I'm going to try and do is on Golden's website, they've got all pigments sorted lightest to heaviest. Now this should be the same across brands. The binders used in things like acryl gouache and Deco Art, in these 3 or 4, these ones, this has got acryl gouache in it, so that might weigh something different, and these 2 are crafts paints, so I don't really know what's in them. I really can't tell. What I'm going to do now is to try and work out heavier pigments at the bottom and lighter pigments at the top, so that I'll have a grid where I've got opaque, semi-opaque, transparent, and then lightest most likely to float and heaviest most likely to sink here. Now there's going to be some pigments where I'm just going to have to make a guess, but there's some of them like Quinacridone Magenta is really light, so I will put that one at the top here in the middle. Iridescence seem to be in the middle, so I will leave this one in the middle. Cadmium Yellow Light, which is this one, is definitely significantly heavier than that one. Phthalo Blue is lighter than the yellow. Phthalo Green, which I guess is phthalocyanine, is heavier than the blue but lighter than the yellow. So this one goes here. On Pinterest there's this acrylic paint density chart which I've seen before, which has got heaviest to thinnest. So let's have a look at this. This is on Rick Cheadle's website. Okay, this seems a lot more accessible. It's non-specific analysis. Okay, so fluorescent colours are the lightest, then quinacridone violet, quinacridone magenta, then some yellow red, phthalo green, phthalo blue is not on there. White is the heaviest colour, which makes sense. To get opaque white you need the most amount of pigment. Right, I'm going to take an educated guess at the other ones. It looks like the violets are quite light, so I'm going to leave those both at the top on their respective sides. Iridescence seem to be in the middle on the golden chart, so I'm going to put this one here. Okay, so the paints are arranged according to their specific gravities, which is how heavy the pigments are. So if you have a teaspoonful of pigment for this colour, which is cadmium yellow light hue, a teaspoon of pigment will weigh more grams or milligrams than a teaspoon of quinacridone magenta pigment. Okay, so these are transparent, semi-transparent and opaque. I think this phthalo blue might be semi-transparent, but we'll see. I think I might move it here because I think it's about the same. So I think the only transparent one is the prism violet. Okay, I'm going to stick the video on time-lapse because it's late at night and the memory is so big with this new camera that I'm going to have trouble putting it on my laptop if I build up too much more footage.
Tomorrow's pour is a funnel pour. This means you'll get a funnel, you'll layer your paints in and you'll remove the cover to the funnel and they'll fall out onto your work. If you don't have a funnel for this challenge, then you can easily get creative and use something that might otherwise go in the recycling, like this Coke bottle, and I can cut off wherever I want. So if I want to make a really long funnel, I can do that. If I want to experiment with different widths, I can try different bottle sizes. So have a play around and see what happens. Thanks so much for joining me today.